afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We are live at the Orange County Convention Center here in Orlando, Florida. It is day 4 of the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, and our afternoon session featuring Team X and Team Gemini for Power Soccer Shop. I'm Tony Jackson. We are underway here. Michael Powell for Team Gemini taking the ball down the floor. Powell looking to get around the Team X defenders, and that ball is out of play. Lots of action already to start the match.
We will do with that. Come on now, Chase it. Good job, man. Here we go.
Leland Young trying to direct traffic here, get his teammates in position. Now he's going to restart play. Michael Powell for Team Gemini going to take that ball. Powell looking to weave his way around the Team X defenders. And there's a save and a shot off the rebound, a goal. Early in the first half, Michael Powell puts Team Gemini up 1-0. Let's watch that again. You can see Powell just kind of ripped that ball away from Young. As he drives in, he takes that ball off the rebound and scores a goal. And again, it is 1-0. Team Gemini over Team X. Young with the ball again, crashing into Powell, and now Nate Jackson with the ball. He's going to send it out of play, kick in for Team X. That's definitely a 2-on-1 violation on Team X. Jackson taking the ball and sending it back in play. Young's got it. And that is another 2-on-1 violation on Team Gemini this time. So an indirect free kick for Team X. Powell breaking down the floor, trying to get around Kutzinger. And we're going to get another foul. And a piece of someone's chair just came flying off. Actually, it looks like a water bottle holder. Not quite sure what that is. Leland Young going to come over and claim it. I'm assuming it came off his chair. And yeah, he's coming by the broadcast booth, and it definitely looks like a cup holder. So he'll just put that on the scorer's table.
So you didn't do what I did.
A lot of these players using their everyday chairs to play in this competition this week. And so you have various amenities, cup holders, straps, belts, things like that that may come loose. Team X trying to set up a wall to prevent Powell from firing that ball across the goal area. So the referee, Mike McCoy, signaling that Team X was in a 2-on-1 violation. And so now Young sends it across to Powell. Leland Young That's a 3 in the box violation.
All right. Good coaching, good coaching.
David North, the defender coming into the area. There was already the goalkeeper and a defender in the goal area, so that means those are the only 2 allowed in. Once David North came in, that was a 3 in the box violation. And so an indirect free kick. Powell going to take it. Jackson going to be the recipient. That ball to Jackson. Jackson just a little late. So Team X looking to kick the ball out of the area. They're having a difficult time at the moment moving the ball up the floor. So let's see if they can get something going here. Goal kick coming up. I want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We have another game coming up at 8 p.m. this evening. That is the bronze medal match. Not quite sure who's playing in that yet, as things are still kind of up for grabs. We will, however, know once this round of games is over. Nicely done by North. And now Kutzinger breaking away down the floor. He took his hand off the joystick for a moment, and Charles Barnes is there. Now there's a lot of traffic outside the Team Gemini goal area. Barnes came out of the area. Good aggressive goalkeeping, but unfortunately for him, he was outside of the goal area, and as Milt Young came in, that created a 2-on-1 violation. Now, if Barnes had stayed in the goal area, they would have been clear of that 2-on-1 violation. Powell just breaking through everybody. Another piece of someone's chair came flying off. Not quite sure where that came from, but Powell trying to blow through everybody. Now, I thought that the referee blew the whistle to stop play. Let's hold on and see what's going on here. The crowd was cheering. Some other people were cheering, but I'm not sure that play is going to count. Yeah, play did continue, but that will indeed be a foul. I think I might have been the only one to hear the whistle blow as everybody kept playing. We're still trying to figure out where that piece came from. Michael Powell just tried to push through everybody, and another piece came flying off someone's chair, and still not quite sure what it was. Hopefully it wasn't important. So Michael Powell with a free kick coming up. Powell sends that ball down the floor. Young gonna get to it. Nicely done by the keeper. David Eddington making a good aggressive play on defense. Young sends that ball back into play. Now Powell, Michael Powell with an opportunity, couldn't control the ball. Tried to turn it back in on the other side of the goalpost, but he couldn't get the guard around the ball, so we're gonna get another goal kick for Team X.
That's bad coaching.
Leland Young for Team X. Restarts play. Michael Powell trying to split the Team X defenders, and he gets through. Advantage called, and now Powell gets cut off by Leland Young, and Eddington could not get back in time to stop that ball. He saw it rolling, but there was nothing he could do about it. It was moving too fast. So let's watch Powell again. Just push that ball through Young, or excuse me, Eddington. Tried to get to that ball, but couldn't get back there fast enough. So it is 2-0 Team Gemini over Team X. See the Team X coach come out, have a word with his players. I'm not quite sure if they were thinking about making a substitution or whether he was just trying to get them back together again after giving up 2 goals. Powell, the deflection to Jackson. Oh, and there's a collision. Play continues on. Leland Young trying to crash through Michael Powell. Powell has the ball. Jackson now takes the ball. He's breaking down the floor. Eddington's there, the goalkeeper for Team X. Jackson trying to score, but Eddington denies him. Young, Milt Young now with the ball for Team Gemini. And Jackson also there. Milt Young with the ball. Team Gemini. Milt Young driving. Milt Young trying to get that ball over the goal line, but he's sent wide. Leland Young meeting up with Milt Young. It's going out, and we are going to get a corner kick for Team Gemini. Milt Young going to take the kick. Michael Powell waiting.
Watch it. Yeah, right there. Watch it coming. Come on now, man. You almost have it. Hey, don't get your lava in the top, will you? Maconi, your phone is spelled.
Referee Mike McCoy having a word with Michael Powell. Not quite sure what the discussion's about.
Yeah, he's shooting there. Hey, come on, he's waiting on you guys. Go, Maconi. All right, here we go.
Milt Young
Watch it.
preparing to take the kick, but not quite ready yet. Let's see, something's going on here now. Team X has got too many people out here on the floor. Hold on. It looks like we're actually making substitutions. Oh, there was a bag. A bag on the back of Leo Moore's chair, who has just come into the match. Also into the match, Al Marconi. And now the kick. Powell sends that ball across Marconi with a save. Jackson is there, but Leo Moore trying to clear the ball out of the area. It's stripped by Powell. Marconi also there. Marconi out of the goal area. That's going to be a 2-on-1 violation.
What are you looking at us for? Hey, she didn't do anything.
So another indirect free kick for Team Gemini. Powell sends that ball through, and there's Milt Young with a goal. Nice execution by Team Gemini. Powell sends that right across to Milt Young. Milt Young finishes it nicely. It's now 3-0 Team Gemini over Team X.
Hey, even a blind coach can find a nut. See, when they listen, we scored, right? Here we go.
Al Marconi coming out of the goal area. And a huge collision between Marconi and Powell. That ball is out of play. A kick in for Team X. Will Kutzinger going to send the ball in for Team X. Michael Powell going to try to take it away, and he does. Powell now breaking free down the floor. Leland Young, the only one back there for Team X. Powell trying to break his way through there. Nice defense there by Leland Young. Now Michael Powell tried to back the ball over the line, and that goal is going to be disallowed. A 2-on-1 violation on Team Gemini. Jackson saw the ball and came in. We'll watch the replay here. Michael Powell breaking away. Leland Young does a nice job to stop the initial attack. And then Jackson comes in, he sees the ball. But that's a 2-on-1 violation, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to get a free kick. Excuse me. Yes, an indirect free kick for Team X, but not before Leland Young is tended to here. Looks like something... Oh, it looks like maybe... something popped on the back of his chair, not quite sure. There was a little bit of a collision as Young was backing up and Jackson was coming in. But I'm not quite sure what happened down there. So while we have a moment, on the other court, we have Team Mercury going up against Team Explorer. Not quite sure what the score is at the moment, but if we can get you an update, we will. All of these teams playing for a spot in the third place game. Championship game aspirations also on the line. Al Marconi over here to our right, getting a new cable tie put on his chair. That collision between him and Powell earlier snapped one of the cable ties off, so we're gonna take a moment here and get him situated. It's fun. It's fun having these guys out here this weekend. A lot of these guys don't play on a regular basis, but you know they come here and they play this every year, so they certainly enjoy playing power soccer. It's a quick update from the other court. Team Explorer up 2-1 over Team Mercury. So Al Marconi is all fixed up and ready to go.
Oh, no. No. Peterson, I think you're disqualified. Yeah, you're lucky that it got it. You're showing up late. You're showing up. What happened?
So Leo Moore going to take the kick for Team X. Milt Young's going to meet him in a huge collision. Leo Moore just trying to crash through Young. Now something happened to Young. It looks like maybe the lever for his motor popped up. That's exactly what happened. When Leo Moore crashed into him, that yellow lever you see is the brake release. And so when that popped up, the brake became disengaged, and the chair stopped operating. So looks like he is up and running again. Looks like Young's going to come out for a little bit. Coming on in his place, Ricky Wickland. Looks like there's been another substitution. Kutzinger's come out and coming on in his place, Renee Peterson. So this is an indirect free kick from the top of the goal area. Both players have to be right along the goal line. They can't be in front of it. And there's a shot, but that's not going to be a goal. Well, first of all, because the referee hadn't blown his whistle to resume play. Let's see, no, actually that was the kick, but it was indirect, so that means it needed to touch off someone before going over the line, but because it didn't, that will be a free kick for Team X. Peterson starts up play, Powell's there, Jackson takes the ball, Jackson circling around, Peterson there to strip the ball away from him. Peterson, can he catch it before it goes out of play? He can, but he can't control it, and so it rolls out. Kick in for Team Gemini. 3-0 the score at the moment. That ball just getting past Jackson and out of play. Kick in for Team X. Marconi, looks like both cable ties on the left side of his chair have snapped off, so he's really only got one tie holding that foot guard on his chair right now. And Powell comes crashing in. And that's going to be a foul on Peterson for impeding. Now again, Marconi, the cable tie that was holding onto the foot guard is completely snapped off. So he doesn't really have much holding onto that foot guard at the moment. Wicklund restarts play. Powell with the ball. Marconi can't stop Powell from moving down the floor, but that ball is out of play. Kick in, Team X. Peterson winding up to send that ball in. Powell, Marconi cuts off Powell. That could have been a foul, certainly, but now Powell gets around the Team X defenders. Powell trying to drive around and angle that ball over the goal line, but he can't do it. But it looks like the referee is pointing towards the penalty mark. And it looks like Marconi, one of those two down there, is going to get called for impeding and interfering with Powell. So Michael Powell is going to take a penalty kick. Now only the goalkeeper can be in the goal area on a penalty kick, and everybody else has to be above the penalty mark. David North, the goalkeeper at the moment. Now, Peterson tried to make a switch, but you can't do that before the kick, so David North will be the one between the goalposts. So Powell going to take the kick. Powell looking to extend the lead. It's currently 3-0. Powell sends it just past North for another goal. It's now 4-0. Well taken by Michael Powell. And you see he slides it just by North. And Al Marconi is getting his chair fixed up again. As I had mentioned, that cable tie had snapped completely off. So Leo Moore gonna take this kick, I believe. Starting up again. Powell rips that ball away from Moore. And there's the halftime whistle, ladies and gentlemen. Team Gemini, from the opening whistle to the halftime whistle, completely in control. They lead 4-0. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, the second half, you're watching the 38th National Veterans Wheelchair Games. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 38th National Veterans Wheelchair Games for Power Soccer Shop. I'm Tony Jackson. Second half about to begin. Team Gemini, as you can see, up 4-0 over Team X. Can Team X get something going here in the second half? David North will start things off. Michael Powell racing through. Michael Powell takes the deflection. It's going to go wide and out of play. Goal kick coming up for Team X. On the other side, Team Explorer still up 2-1 over Team Mercury. And Powell gets absolutely blasted again by North and Leland Young. You see Young directing traffic here, or excuse me, taking the kick. North and Young both crash into Powell. Back to live action here. And this is a direct free kick. There is space in that Team X defense. Let's see if Michael Powell can hit it. That ball going to Jackson. Jackson just kind of froze for a moment. And that little bit of hesitation made him late on the ball. So goal kick again for Team X. Renee Peterson with the ball. Powell strips it away. There's no one in the goal area. And Powell can't control the ball. Oh my goodness, he had no one back there to defend. And I will say, when you are playing sometimes and you see open daylight, you just tend to rush yourself, and that's exactly what happened there. Powell had absolutely no one to defend in the goal area, and he simply could not get his chair around the ball. Renee Peterson and the rest of his Team X teammates, very fortunate. Now there's another deflection. Now that one over the line and a goal. It's now 5-0 Team Gemini. And now, it looked like Peterson didn't really get a good read on that ball as Powell just punched that ball over the goal line. Again, the score 5-0 now, Team Gemini over Team X. Powell strips that ball away. Powell bringing the ball back down the floor. Leland Young trying to stop him. Powell trying to strip the ball away. Powell gets that ball away. Powell driving. Powell trying to get past. Jackson's going to take the ball, but that's a 2-on-1 violation. Nate Jackson killing a scoring chance for Team Gemini by swooping in and taking the ball away from his teammate. Leland Young starts up again. Powell crashes into Young, and that's going to be a 2-on-1 violation on Team X. Referee Mike McCoy asking Young to ease up as he's just trying to push through Powell, and that's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Leland Young using a plastic foot guard, and Michael Powell using a strike force, which is made of solid steel. And another piece of something ending up on the floor. So Powell going to take another kick. This once again indirect. So Powell going over to Jackson. That ball right off of Jackson. Oh, he couldn't get there again. Now the thing with Jackson's chair that makes it difficult for him to latch onto those crosses is that he's got a very slow acceleration, and I'm sure he knows when he should go if he were able to just jump out there, but he needs to try to compensate for the acceleration on his chair to get there in time. Now there's the ball, pass off to Jackson. Jackson with it now, taking a shot that's going to go wide and out of play. That is going to be a kick in from the corner. And you can hear the Team Gemini coach calling for a substitution. Coming into the match, Ron Polk. Coming out, Ricky Wicklund. So this is a kick in from deep in the Team Gemini, or excuse me, the Team X defensive side of the floor. Leland Young gonna take the kick. Michael Powell waiting. Now there's a whole lot of players down here. Kutzinger, North, and Young all converging on the ball. That is a 2-on-1 violation. So Ron Polk going to take this kick. Michael Powell waiting. Polk. Oh my goodness, a huge collision. Renee Peterson crashing into Polk. That's very dangerous. Kutzinger getting caught up in the madness. Let's watch that replay again. Polk and Peterson absolutely colliding, looking like two crash test dummies out there. Neither one of them are going to stop. Hopefully everybody's okay. Will Kutzinger starts up play again. Kutzinger crashes into Powell. North and Kutzinger causing a 2-on-1 violation. So Powell going to take the indirect free kick. Ron Polk waiting for it on the near side. Jackson waiting on the far side. That ball right through Kutzinger. That's not a goal though. No goal. Jackson did not latch onto that ball. That was an indirect free kick. Although I don't think anybody in the audience understood the situation. It is an indirect free kick. Jackson didn't touch it. And you can see Powell throwing his arms up in frustration again. So coming into the match for Will Kutzinger is David Eddington. Leo Moore also coming into the match. And it looks like David North is coming out. Peterson over to Marconi. Powell tries to take the ball away. That is a 2-on-1 violation. Jackson and Powell. So an indirect free kick for Team X. Marconi loses his guard. It was bound to happen at some point. Oh, Marconi didn't realize that his guard is underneath his chair. He's got to stop for just a moment. Still tethered by a cable tie, but it's broken off the mount. Let's watch that again, ladies and gentlemen. Marconi goes crashing into Michael Powell, and his guard completely comes off the chair. He's going to have to come out of there. I think the mount for that guard is broken off, so Marconi coming out, Leland Young coming back into the match. And a round of applause for Al Marconi as he makes his exit off the pitch. Unfortunately, that's probably going to be the last time we see Al Marconi out here on the floor today. If he gets back in, he's going to have to run over and get a new foot guard put on his chair. So Leland Young starts play again. Powell bounces it off of Young. Leo Moore is there. Powell takes the ball away. Renee Peterson one-on-one with Powell. Powell trying to drive through. That ball is loose. Peterson, Jackson, and Polk all there for Team Gemini. You can't do that. That is a 2-on-1 violation. Now the natural tendency for a lot of people is you see that ball, you got to go for it. But with Power Soccer, to avoid a 2-on-1 violation, you really need to maintain spacing and trust that your teammates are going to do something with that ball. But again, a lot of these players only play this 1 week of year, and in the 2-on-1 violation, the spacing involved with Power Soccer is one of the harder things to learn. So now Powell once again attacking Peterson. Powell trying to get another goal. That's a 3-in-the-box violation, as we have 2 defenders plus the goalkeeper in the area. But play continues. Referee Mike McCoy allowing play to go on. Powell trying to get around Peterson, but Peterson doing very well to defend. That ball is caught in his foot guard. Now, Powell started screaming that the ball was caught in the foot guard. He knocked it out and scored a goal, but referee Mike McCoy had already blown the whistle at that point, so it's going to be a set ball at the top of the goal area. So Powell in position to take it. Leo Moore going to come in. Now, Team X is already in a 3-in-the-box violation. Leland Young and Renee Peterson along the goal line. Leo Moore also in the goal area. So already a 3-in-the-box violation on Team X. Let's see what happens here. Looks like referee Mike McCoy is just going to allow play to continue here. Leo Moore, nicely done to win that, push that one off of Powell. Kick in, Team X. If you're just joining us, 5-0 the score right now. Team Gemini pitching a shutout at the moment. Eddington. Polk with the ball. Moore. Polk crashes into Moore. Moore didn't seem to like that too much. Now, these plastic guards do have a lot of flexibility, and sometimes you don't want that, especially when chairs are colliding into each other. Feet are right there along the back of that foot guard, so players need to be careful out here. You don't want to injure anybody. Polk crashing into Moore again. That's a 2-on-1 violation. Now, Polk still driving through. Now, he's going to stop and hold on it just a moment. It looks like their foot guards are tangled up. Trying to get these two separated, and there we go. Now, Leo Moore is getting absolutely thrashed out here by Ron Polk. Hopefully Moore's okay. Polk starts it up again. Polk trying to get around Young. Young does well to get the ball away from Powell. Now into the match, and arriving late, I might add, for Team Gemini, Bruce Sanders. Powell pushes that ball through. He's trying to get around Polk. Powell gets the ball. Peterson there, the goalkeeper for Team X. Nicely done. Sanders, Bruce Sanders with the ball, trying to weave his way through that Team X defense, and he leaves it off, and Powell just blows right through his own teammate, and that's going to be a foul on Powell. Powell just ripped right through his own teammate to take that ball away. See Michael Powell, very stoic looking at the moment. He smells blood, he's going for more. Team Gemini already up 5-0. Leo Moore restarting play. Eddington, Moore, Young, all defending Powell. That is a 2-on-1 violation. Now Team X has 3 defenders in the goal area. Powell sends the ball across, but that one's going to go right through, and that, again, not a goal. It's an indirect free kick. So that is about the 6th one in this match that has gone by. Powell setting up indirect free kicks, but his teammates unfortunately unable to latch onto the end of those. Powell takes that ball, trying to get it off of Moore. Oh, Leo Moore has the ball stripped away. Sanders with the ball, can't turn it back in towards the goal, so it's out for a Team X kick-in, or excuse me, goal kick. Peterson sends that ball in. Powell, the last to touch that. 2-on-1 violation called on Team X. Now Powell has got several defenders to get that ball past. Let's see if he can find space in that Team X defense. That ball all the way across off of Eddington. Eddington trying to take the ball the other way. Powell stops him and turns him around. Powell trying to rip through. Sanders is trying to get out of the way to avoid the 2-on-1 violation, and he does. Young trying to hold off Powell, but Powell just holding on to that ball and dragging Young. Now Powell's going to try to push his way through, but as long as those Team X defenders stay right there, Powell's not going to get through. So that's going to be a foul on Powell for pushing into Peterson. You can't push on the back wheel or further back behind the chair to score a goal. So free kick coming up for Team X. We're going to get a substitution for Team X. David North coming back into the match. Let's see who's going to come out. As we wait to see who's coming out. Looks like Leo Moore is coming out of the match. Now, Eddington restarted play before Moore was completely off the pitch, so we're going to do that again. Leland Young starting up play once again. Milt Young there. Now Leland Young gets through. Barnes hits the ball out of play. A rare opportunity for Team X to try to get a goal on the board. Now they're down 5-0. Let's see if they can get something here. Bruce Sanders now driving down the floor. Bruce Sanders, Nate Jackson, both there on the ball. One of them's got to split off. Milt Young with the ball is cut off by Leland Young. 2-on-1 violation on Team Gemini. Indirect free kick for Team X coming up. Leland Young met by Milt Young. Nicely done by Milt Young to split the defenders. Young latching onto the ball. Renee Peterson, the only one there to stop him. And Young loses control of the ball, much like Michael Powell did earlier. He had a free break down the floor, but again, if you rush yourself, it's very hard to regain control of the ball. So a goal kick for Team X coming up. Milt Young, Leland Young doing battle once again. That ball bounces around, last touch by Eddington. And there's the final whistle, ladies and gentlemen. Team Gemini, strong on offense, strong on defense. They win this one 5-0. We're going to take a pause. Our next game is at 8 p.m. tonight. So join us, it's the bronze medal match. Until then, I want to thank you all for watching. For Power Soccer Shop, I'm Tony Jackson. This is the 38th National Veterans Wheelchair Games. We'll see you tonight.